And so once again, it's this time of year. I've got to be honest, I generally get bored of Christmas songs very quickly because everywhere you go, you hear the same 15 to 20 over and over again. In trying to get into the Christmas spirit, I've delved into the recesses of my mind to come up with the 10 Christmas songs I like the most. These are lesser known, well, lesser played songs at least. I've also added links to each of the songs in the description box below, so if you want to go and have a listen to them, go for it. So let's get right into it. At number 10, as unlikely a Christmas song artist as I can find, has to be Bob Dylan, with his take on Mitch Miller's Must Be Santa. To be fair, I think I like it because it doesn't sound like a Christmas song at all. It sounds like a great night in a pub though. It really should be played more. At number 9, Christmas songs sound better when they're done in ska. Going back to the mid-1960s with Cedric Bravo, and it's got a lovely feel to it. It was recorded in Jamaica and it's got a lot going for it, including Rico's fantastic trumpet playing. Rather spiffing, don't you think? Number 8. Next up, it's a song with an Italian feel that seems to go so well with the Christmas vibe. I've always thought this should be played more than it is. It's a bit of an Italian novelty song, but it just makes me smile when I hear it. Lou Monte, Dominic the Donkey, Christmas Niceness. If you've enjoyed the first 3 of my Christmas choices, please feel free to hit that like button. And why not let me know of songs that you think should be in my top 10 by commenting below. Moving up to number 7. This was a UK number 1 way back in 1955. The Maguire Sisters had released a version of this in the States, but over here it was only a B-side. As was the way back in those days, the Brits decided it needed covering for our own audience, and this version did very well. Dickie Valentine was a huge British star at the time, so his take on the song went down very well over here. I loved the 50s croony style to it. Number 6, it was back in the middle of the summer back in 1991, and I was listening to a radio station called Atlantic 252, and they were having a Midsummer's Christmas Day. And to hear Christmas songs on a baking hot day was unusual to say the least. As it was a novel idea, I went with it and was struck by Elmo and Patsy's song Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer, because obviously it was quite humorous. I'd not heard it before, so it was a pleasant surprise for me to hear it. In fact, I don't think I've heard it played on radio since then, sadly. Number 5. This is my favourite version of a Bing Crosby classic. I've always liked it, although it never gets played much in the UK, or at least I don't hear it often. Which is a surprise, especially after it featured in the film Home Alone way back when. This was when the Drifters really were the Drifters, and not the tribute group that travels around the UK in their name year on year. This was the first version of the Drifters as far as I'm aware, and it sounds sublime. Their version of White Christmas just gets me every time I hear it. At number 4, I really like the feel of Burl Ives' version of A Holly Jolly Christmas. It's got such a happy feel to it. It must be well liked, as there have been over 185 recordings of this song by different artists over the years. I've always wondered though, was Burl Ives actually Colonel Sanders of Kentucky Fried Chicken fame? They look the same, and I've never seen a photo of them in the same room. Ooh, a conspiracy theory this close to Christmas. Before I tell you my top 3, if you're new to the channel and enjoying the content, check out some of the other videos, and if you like them, please consider pressing that subscribe button. And those of you that have been watching a few and haven't yet subscribed, don't you think it's time you did? After all, it is Christmas. Let's move on to my number 3. Back in the mid-2000s, I started checking out radio stations around the world via the internet. And one night I stumbled on a little station in Micronesia, and the presenter was doing a Christmas show. And he was playing songs I'd never heard before. And this was one that he played in that show. It comes from 1950 and featured the Dinning sisters with Bob Atcher, and I was taken by it straight away. Christmas Island sounded like a place I'd really like to go to with its South Sea feel to it. It immediately became a song I loved. It's got a great nostalgic feel to it, and it always makes me feel good. At number 2, this song was also played in that same radio show. Now, I'd never heard of Algie Rios, but he sounded about 6 years old. Normally, I can't stand child singers with their whiny little voices, but for some reason, I really liked this. I think the music sounded really good as well, and it seemed to be such a nice little package. And at number 1 for me, it's a cover of an American Christmas classic. Bobby Helms' version of Jingle Bell Rock is just sublime, and it is my favourite Christmas song by a mile. But the version I love isn't that one. In Britain, the song was covered by British entertainer Max Bygraves, and his version, although pretty much the same, just seemed to strike a chord with me. Max Bygraves was a staple on British TV and in the theatres when I was growing up, and I'd always liked him. So it's this version that makes my number 1. I've put links to each of the songs in the description box down below if you want to have a listen to them. Now, this is my last video this side of the big day, so I'd like to wish you a very Merry Christmas, and I'll see you on the other side. However, if you want to click up there, I'll tell you about the movies we watch during the special week each year. I'll see ya.